Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is a walk around on this race mower I built. It's a 14.5 horse. I was going to go with the 20 horse, which I may still do, but this motor runs really good. It's extremely loud even though it says quiet, but once I cut the muffler off that kind of ended that. Anyways, it runs really good. It is a governor bypass. That being said, it's a 6-speed. It came with a fully automatic rear end. I replaced that with a 6-speed. When I took the 6 apart, there's little bearing balls inside of it that you can hear it click when you shift gears. I removed those so that it's a smooth shift. You can't even hardly tell you're shifting the gears. Reverse, and there's neutral. It's electric start. Turn the key on, you flip this toggle switch up, and crank the motor. There's a little battery. I don't know if it'll focus in, but there's a battery down in there. Little, I guess it'd be a 4-wheeler battery. As far as gearing goes, I have a 5-inch pulley on the front. I have a Jackshaft with a 2.5-inch on the bottom. A 9-inch right here on the top, which goes to a 3-inch on the rear end. So for every time that motor turns one time, this rear end's turning 6 times. It's very high geared. It's what you would call a road gear. Around here, which I have lots of property, 5 acres, you can do first, second, and maybe third, which is about 22 miles an hour. It has the original brakes on it, which I did clean and adjust, and yes, it still works through the clutch pedal. I know that's not the ideal way to do it. It doesn't stop on a dime. It takes forever to stop. I lowered the rear end 4 inches. You can see the blocks on the side, and the front end's 5 inches. So overall, it dropped 5 inches in the front, 4 in the rear. The clearance right here is 4.5 inches. The clearance in the front, get this down here, right here is 1.25 inches. Right here is 2.5. Excuse me, right here. So there's not much clearance. Stock carburetor, stock motor, fully stock. I had this piece lying around. That's the only thing I put different. And I'm going to put a breather right here. But I may end up running it up and putting it into here. Cutting a hole, putting a filter right here. That way it just keeps all that debris out. But yeah, as far as, I haven't had no problem with it spitting oil. We only run it about 10 minutes at a time, 15 minutes. As far as the Jackshaft goes, it's a 5/8 shaft. I have 2 of these carrier bearings. One here, and one about halfway, about right in here. And that seems to hold this just fine. Yeah, it runs great. I have the hood for it. Just kind of still in the testing phases of this thing. Haven't really worked all the kinks out. It has a problem with flipping that belt over, which I found out was because I didn't bolt up the front of the rear end. So I took care of that, so that should be fixed now. I'm going to test it with the old belt. If it's fixed, then I'll buy a new belt and stuff, but I don't want to just waste money and ruin the belt underneath of it, because if you know anything about yard machines, you know that they're pretty much, as you shift it through your gears, it says right here that it has 7 speeds, and then right here there was a forward and reverse. But as you shift them through the gears, basically what you're doing is you're tensioning the belt, and that's what makes you go faster. So it's not really shifting anything. Well, I replaced that with a 6-speed, so I had to remove all the guts out from underneath this thing. And let me see if I can get it flipped up, and I'll show you what the undercarriage looks like. Alright, so it's dirty, obviously, but this is what it looks like underneath. You have your pulley right here. There's your motor. There's the Jackshaft. And this is the clutch system I put in there. It's a double clutch. Basically, when you push it, they release, and both of them pull tight. This belt's a little worn itself. Put one spring back, which is hooked to the clutch. It works really good. I haven't had any issues with that part. I haven't had it sling belts or anything like that. I do recommend, if you want to build one of these, and you know, there's a lot of different ways you can pull from, but make it your own. You don't have to copy people. I mean, you can do it your own way. This is a cheap way to have fun, unless you want to go out and spend, you know, 8 grand on a 4-wheeler. Parts are really cheap. I have several mowers, so I can just pull apart. I mean, my sons ride it, but first timer, I definitely wouldn't let them go wide open. First, second gear is fun to play on. Teach them how to stay out of the throttle a little bit, and you'll be good to go. Every part I put on here came from it. From the gas pedal, that's made from it works, no problem. It's made from a lift from where the deck went underneath of it. That's a hanging bracket. Same with your steering. This is one of the hanging brackets. These things come with a lot of hardware under them that hang those decks on. So finding metal is usually not a problem. It doesn't take a lot. Basically, you need something to cut with, something to bolt, and you don't have to have a welder, but luckily I do, so that definitely helps. But get out there, build you one, enjoy it. Like I said, this is by no way me trying to show you how to build one. I'm learning myself. I'm just doing what I do. But get out there, do it, enjoy yourself, have fun, be safe.